This is Hannibal here from thehannibaltv.com, and I'm live with a daily news update back from my run here. It's 5 a.m, and some good news from AEW. They promoted this Wednesday's pay-per-view, or not pay-per-view, Dynamite heavily. Had a title changed. Kenny Omega beat Jon Moxley. Kenny Omega, of course, one of the AEW executives, took the title. And of course, more importantly, the 61-year-old Sting appeared, and they announced that he'd signed a multi-year deal with the company. And they ended up getting their biggest rating of 2020, scoring a 0.43, which was about 913,000 viewers. Didn't quite make 1 million viewers, even with all that publicity, but they actually spanked NXT, which only did a 0.16. NXT did get more viewers than AEW last week. NXT was higher in viewership, but not in ratings last week. But this week, they didn't even come close to AEW. But of course, AEW had a special where NXT did not. Apparently, I listened to the Wrestling Observer radio earlier today, or I guess yesterday, and they said there was a run-in every single segment on the AEW show Wednesday night. They said there wasn't a single segment where there was not a run-in. Triple H did a conference call on Thursday, and when asked whether he would be open to do crossovers with other companies, he stated they're open for business. Other than Evolve, which went out of business and was a very small company. They only had about 30,000 YouTube subscribers. And some other small companies, I don't think they've ever done crossover angles other than in Japan. I think in the early 90s, they were doing some crossover stuff with a company over there. But maybe one of you guys watching can correct me. But I don't see them doing successful crossovers because they're so controlling. And every time, like when they bought WCW, they had everyone beat. Remember DDP, who I recently did an interview with, how badly they destroyed him when he came to WWE, and WWE guys pretty much mopped the floor with all the WCW guys. I can't see them working successfully with another company, but he says they're open for business. Impact rarely releases their ratings, but they did release their ratings for the December 1st episode of Impact, which was a 0.05. So 0.05. So I guess they must have been happy with that rating to put it out there. Davey Boy Smith Jr., who is the Hannibal TV heavyweight champion, is done with MLW. He wanted to get out of the contract at the start of this lockdown because, according to what I understand, he was not being paid by MLW during the lockdown, but they were holding him to the contract. They were willing to make some type of exception to let him work for Impact under the condition that he re-signed for a longer term, according to what was reported in the Observer, as well as sources very close to Davey Boy Smith Jr. that told me that directly. So it's not like they were just going to willingly let him work for another company. He had to make some concessions to them. But he's done with them. My guess is you'll see him in WWE, but there is a chance he would go to AEW. Personally, I think he'll be used better in WWE because they're pretty tight with the cliques in AEW. with the executives and Moxley and Jericho, who are not executives, but they're also involved with the creative, according to interviews I've heard from Tony Khan. So I think he would be better off in WWE. Billy Graham, by the way, who I said is suffering from cancer and had an operation on his nose, WWE Hall of Famer superstar Billy Graham, he had a GoFundMe going, but the link was not working. So he had to redo the whole GoFundMe. I pinned the link to the top of the comments. If anyone wants to help him out, that GoFundMe is active as of today. Great guy. He's banned from the Thunderdome for some reason, even though WWE just put out a new action figure of him, I think, in September, just before his Legends contract expires. And the guy who holds the record for most consecutive main event sellouts at Madison Square Garden, instead of using his mind as one of the greatest promo guys of all time in a role similar to what they did with Dusty Rhodes, they don't use his mind for anything. And who knows? He's a good survivor, but like, it's just sad that they could be using him and they just let him go to waste. I did an interview today with Jasmine Allure from SWE Fury. She's going to be competing on the December 12th event, along with the Blood Hunter. Kevin Sullivan will be there. Teddy Long, Mark Henry, Charlie Haas, Tim Storm. A great cast of female wrestlers that I have been interviewing over the past week, but I would suggest people check her interviews out. She's only been wrestling a little over a year and is around 20 years old, but is not only beautiful, but she's a fantastic wrestler. And I think she's going to do very well in the wrestling business. Tomorrow night on my The Hannibal TV show on the Zingo TV here in Canada, it's channel 250. But if you don't get that, you can download the Zingo TV app from the iTunes store or wherever you can download apps and watch it from 7 to 8 p.m. We're now the lead-in to SmackDown. If you want to watch the Hannibal TV show on Friday nights, I am going to have on the reigning Canadian champion, Jeremy Prophet, tomorrow night, along with comedian Alex Wood. And we do post those in full as well on my second YouTube channel, Devon Nicholson, after they air. But if you want to watch it live, you got to watch it on the Zingo TV app, which is part of the Barn Burner Network, which also does it in podcast form. As I drop a cup and almost hit my dog, I just woke up my dog. Maybe she'll do a cameo. She also appeared in the Jasmine Allure interview earlier. Mwah! I'll let her go back to sleep. Retro UK, any chance seeing me in AEW? There's always a chance of anything, but I'm not wrestling anymore. I would go there and interview people. Hey, it's the Christmas season. Drinking my tea out of a Christmas mug. You'd see me interview some more of their talent, but you wouldn't see me wrestle there. I wouldn't be happy in a place like that. I'm better off working for myself. Luca says, LOL, Biggs 21 is laughing. Oh, you're laughing at me. You guys are hurting my feelings. We are on Twitch, Great North Wrestling, Facebook and Twitter and Instagram at the Hannibal TV. The Blood Hunter now, apparently, from what I understand, has an Instagram that just started today, as well as a Facebook page. He is probably the most dangerous wrestler in the world today, and I think just incredible. Might find that out. And I know Kevin Sullivan is pushing for that match to be a street fight. So that would be interesting. Imagine if it goes out of the Ocean Center onto the streets of Daytona Beach. You never know what could happen in a street fight, especially with the guy that used to be ECW champion and Kevin Sullivan and the Blood Hunter involved. Could be crazy.